This video introduces the foundations or the basics of an effective strategic planning process. Now, the strategic planning process is a series of steps or stages that you will need to go through to help you figure out where your school is going in the future. So what do you aim, what is your vision for the school? How are you going to get there? And lastly, whether you are succeeding or not. Is your school achieving their goals and the vision? Management needs to first think strategically and then apply that thought to a process. Remember, it is not the plan that is important, it's the planning, the actual process. Now, a strategic plan helps the school outline or define what they would like to achieve when it comes to their learners' success objectives and the organizational or school goals. Before we begin to immerse ourselves in the strategic planning process, let's quickly skip to the end and have a quick look at what you will achieve at the end of a strategic planning process. Now we start at the top, and here you will have a very clear vision and mission statement. And these will help you to gain clarity on where your school aims to be in the future and how they plan on getting there. Now, directly related to both of those will be the values of the school. And these are a critical part of the strategic planning process. And this is because it deals with the most important element, your people. Now, shared values create a synergy, a cohesive team working towards a shared vision. And once this has been established, you can then begin to look at your organizational goals. And these are the areas that you want your school to focus on. These are important because they all stem from your vision and mission statements and from your organizational values. It is the platform for which you'll begin to set your goals. Now, most schools could think of quite a few focus areas that they would like to concentrate on, but the trick is to pick only a few that really matter to the school. For example, improving literacy levels of the school. That could be one of your organizational goals. And from your organizational goals, you then begin to look at your long-term goals. Now remember that this plan is a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan, so you need to think into the future. In 5 years' time, what are your long-term literacy goals? It could be that in 5 years' time, you would like all your learners leaving in grade 3 to be 100% literate. Now, how does a school achieve this? Your long-term goals are achieved through planning and setting short-term objectives. So what could be some short-term objectives that would help your school to achieve 100% literacy rate in grade 3? It could possibly be to send teachers all on additional training. It could also require possibly buying new readers or textbooks for the grades. Maybe you need to gain the support of parents to help set up extra reading groups or support groups for learners who are really struggling. And once you start to achieve these short-term objectives, you will slowly begin to achieve your long-term goals. And when you start achieving more of your long-term goals, you will start automatically achieving and succeeding in your organizational goals, and so on and so forth. So as you can see, we always start with the vision and mission, and we work downwards, and we make sure that this vision, mission, and values filters through into our organizational goals, long-term goals, and short-term objectives. Any school with a mission to succeed in the best educational interests of their learners must have a plan to get there. So let's have a look at the different elements that make up strategic planning. Let's see how they all fit together in a strategic planning process. Now, the first stage is to determine the school's position. Where is it that the school is at now, and where would you like it to be in the future? The next 2 steps are to develop a strategy and build a plan. Now, often the words strategy and plan are used interchangeably, but they are not the same. Each is an entirely different concept. A strategy is much bigger than a plan. So when you are developing your strategy, you are looking at goal setting and finding different ways to achieve those goals, while a plan looks at the specific or smaller steps that you need to take in order to achieve those goals. A plan looks at who, what, when, how, and answers all those technical action plan questions. The strategy always comes before the plan. And the last step is to manage the performance. What systems can you put in place to make sure that your school is working towards your organizational goals? Now, this course is centered on all 4 steps, and we will look at each in more detail throughout the modules. To clarify again, the vision is the picture of what we aim to be like, and the mission is the statement of how we behave to get there and stay there. And a strategic plan or strategic planning entails deciding who is involved, what must they do, when must it be done by, and how will they do it. The most successful schools all have one thing in common. They have a great strategic plan. So, what are some of the benefits of strategic planning? Firstly, it communicates a shared vision, mission, and values. It helps everyone who is involved in the school to work towards a common vision or goal. Strategic planning also organizes schools and their staff. It helps to utilize all resources and gain the commitment from the staff. Strategic planning keeps schools connected and united as it promotes teamwork and collaboration, as everyone is working towards a common goal. It also increases communication and clarity. Now, communication is critical for the strategic planning process. It provides transparency and clarity for everyone involved. Strategic planning also encourages schools to strive for success. Through the planning process, schools set goals and objectives for improvement and development, which in turn encourages everyone to achieve this. And lastly, but most importantly, strategic planning keeps the learner's educational interests at heart throughout the process, because at the end of the day, the schools are there for our learners.